hear the birdies. Do you hear them?
Yes.
Welcome to the Crazy Creative Podcast, episode 19 with Coach Kevin Doyle. My first repeat.
Number 2, baby.
Yeah, baby, part 2.
I'm back.
I'm glad you came back, man.
I'm glad I'm back, too.
Yeah, we actually just did a workout here in my garage. Warlord weightlifting. We did an angry dad wad where we just smashed the living fuck out of some weights and rolled around in our own fat sweat. It was pretty fun.
So fucked up.
Coach Doyle here is pretty motivated.
It's weird to feel like your legs like seize up and then not unseize. And then like your soul seizes up.
Yes.
But your heart accelerates.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just there.
And your lungs are
and that's
burning.
it. You're just in that place.
How did you describe this as the most uncomfortable you've ever felt in someone else's home?
Sober.
Yes. That's a pretty fair description. So forgive us if we're a little red and sweaty. We just got done with that. But we've got some big news since the last time you were on. You're pretty motivated because of what happened this weekend with the Hartford Hammer.
The Hammer dropped.
The Hammer, baby, which is a semi-pro grid team that you own,
Yes.
manage.
Yes. Coach. All the above.
Awesome. Okay, so could you please describe what grid actually is?
So,
To those out there who don't know.
for those of you who don't
Which
know,
everyone who's watching this probably knows what it is.
I hope you do.
Probably the CrossFit crowd. But
If you don't, you should. You should look it up. Well, basically what grid racing is a CrossFit style or functional fitness, competitive functional fitness in a team atmosphere.
okay.
Coaches in this version of competitive fitness play a much more intricate role, the way I would say something similar to the interaction between a football coach and his team during a game,
Okay.
or a basketball coach and his team during a game, because you get to do a lot of things that involve substitutions on the fly based on what's happening in the middle of a race. The format is unique. For those of you who understand CrossFit, know what a WOD is, or have done what would be called a partner WOD. In grid races, what you do is you take 5 people from your roster and you attack what is one of 11 races in a row.
Okay.
Over a period of time. Excuse me. And then it's up to the coach and in that moment to make decisions about who's coming in, who's coming
Okay.
out, based on what the next element is, right? If you have somebody who's really strong, you want them doing the cleans. And then if you have someone who's really good at gymnastics, you have them do pull-ups. And it's like a race from the beginning to the end of what's called the quadrant or the grid to finish whatever elements are lined up.
Okay. And now does each team go, you said there's 11
races.
races,
Yep.
and you do all 11 consecutively?
Yes.
Or okay.
So in a traditional grid match, you'll do all 11 races consecutively.
Okay.
And
Is there a break in between, or do they just run?
there's
right?
a few minutes. You have
Okay.
a few minutes. So you do a race. Almost all of them are 6 minutes or less, and then you'll have like a 3 to 5 minute break.
And do you do the substitutions mid-race, or and you have to set your roster for each segment, or
Both.
It's
It's literally both. So
okay,
you
so you
carry
do like a line change, like in hockey or
you
something.
do. So you have like the way races work are you are allotted 5 athletes to participate in each race. If it's a combined race, what's referred to as a Jack and Jill or co-gender race, you can use 5 women and 5 men.
Okay.
And then you have 10 athletes. So you have 10 athletes active on your roster at any given time. You show up for the day with 14, right? And this is where you get into the world of utilizing your players based on their skill sets to address whatever race you have in front of you. So if you have a race that requires extremely strong people to perform all the work, you may not want to use the person who's really good at handstand push-ups
Gotcha.
or bodyweight work. And you need to what's called sub someone out or insert one of your alternates.
Okay.
However, this is where it gets interesting. You then now, the person who sits out the race, who was previously an active roster person, is done for the day.
Okay.
It's like sort of baseball, right? So if a pitcher
you pull
comes out,
can't
he
go back
can't
in.
go back
okay.
in, right? So there's that challenge. So they design the races as such where you can't just take people in and out whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
You have to make strategic decisions based on who you have in order to best overcome the day.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And
now,
it's actually like really challenging.
I bet.
Because you're dealing with 14 people.
Sure. And you were up at the NEGL event this past weekend.
Yep. So,
can you describe that and how that went down?
It was awesome.
How many teams were there?
6.
Now Grid is what? This is like the second or third year of Grid?
Yep, this is their second full year. The NPGL is the pro league, the main pro league. And there was a Southern Athletic Grid League. There's a California Grid League or Northern California Grid League.
Okay.
There's an Atlantic States Grid League, and there's a. Did I say Florida?
No.
Florida. So I know at least 4 or 5. And I'm pretty sure Texas has a few. What they're calling semi-pro teams. The semi-pro teams are people who are either on developmental rosters or people who are trying to get into the Pro Grid League. Because the Pro Grid League is, you're a paid athlete, right?
Okay.
You are paid to participate and race for them the way any professional athlete would be. I mean, the salaries aren't what a basketball player makes,
sure.
But that's a different story. But it's really an opportunity for example, let's say like a games athlete or regionals athlete to get paid year round to be a competitive athlete instead of trying to win local and regional competitions. It really gives them a professional, standardized atmosphere to participate in and train for.
Okay. Now is the NEGL, are they like a minor league to like the Boston Iron?
Boston Iron.
Now how many pro teams are there? 9 or 12 or something like that?
9 or 12, yeah. It's bigger than last year. I think last year they had 6 or 7. I should know this, by the way. I'm sorry. But the Boston Iron, that's run by Josh, and the NEGL is started by him. He sort of founded it with Mel McManus, and the two of them have both done a great job. Mel, I believe, was on CrossFit Florian's regionals team, and she's an excellent athlete herself, but she's the commissioner of the NEGL, and she's just done a tremendous job getting everybody organized and holding people accountable and maintaining integrity to make sure everything is standardized and equal for everyone.
Cool. Now, are they looking to like pull folks from the NEGL to be on Boston Iron? Is that what ultimately they would do? Or?
I don't think it's specifically just for the Iron.
Okay.
I believe that their true intentions are to build the sport.
Okay.
Because I really can't emphasize how much fun it is. If people enjoy doing competitive CrossFit, if you are an RX competitive athlete in functional fitness, and you have the opportunity to participate in some grid races with people you know and like to train with, go do it. It is a completely different experience in a lot of different ways, but it is so fun and it's so fast, and there's so much energy and competition involved. It's the most fun thing I've done since I started working with competitive athletes in the field of like CrossFit and functional fitness.
Now, what's the biggest difference you think between CrossFit and Grid? Like, what would you say? Is the training totally different? Is the atmosphere different?
It can be, but it's not necessarily, right? The foundation of Grid athletes is inevitably going to be sort of a stock of high-level CrossFitters, right? If you looked at the rosters for the first year in the NEGL, there was the who's who of CrossFit Games athletes, from Annie Thorisdottir to Matt Frazier to everybody, you know. But what you also see now is after a year, a lot of them aren't there anymore.
Okay.
And it's giving way to people who are a little bit more specialized in their skill set and a little bit more in tune for what is very, very fast races.
Okay.
And then one of the things that happens with high-level competitive CrossFit is it being such an endurance-based sport. A lot of people think CrossFit is a strength sport, but they don't understand, and that's the mistake, is that it's actually a endurance sport.
Right.
And strength is a barrier of entry to participate.
Sure.
So once you understand that, Grid is much. You need to have endurance, and do all those, have that sort of durability to last a couple hours. But it's much more anaerobic in nature. You're going much harder for much shorter periods of time, but you're repeating that over and over and over again. And you can definitely train for that.
Sure.
In different ways, if it becomes your priority, if it becomes sort of your goal. But it's different, but inevitably also works with CrossFit just the same.
Cool. Now, do you see this sport kind of taking off? Like, this is like definitely the infancy of it. Do you think this is going to get a lot bigger?
I don't see how it doesn't.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it doesn't get bigger, because I went and did one weekend of it with my athletes, and it was so much fun, and everybody walked into the gym inspired to train after it.
Oh yeah.
And I've had my athletes participate in competitions before for a weekend, and at the end of those competitions, they're like, "Oh man, I just need a break,"
Right.
But the team support and the team energy just changes everything.
Right. I bet. That's cool. Instead of taking it like it seems more like individualized at CrossFit during like a CrossFit WOD and CrossFit competition. Kind of takes the pressure off of one person. And definitely having that team structure has got to be a lot more fun.
And people like one of the things, like it rewards people for being very good at particular things.
Okay, cool.
And that's one of the things that makes building your roster unique.
Yeah.
Is that you want people to be different, you want people to possess different skill sets, and you sort of need that. You're going to rely on that at some point.
So the things that might make somebody like not that good as an individual CrossFitter might actually make them a perfect grid team member.
Right.
Cool.
You can't build a good football team with 22 linebackers.
Right.
Right. You need to have people who have specialized skill sets and body types who can do specific tasks. Right. And building a grid team is very similar to that, because, it sort of feels like in coaching football, like the first thing I was reminiscent of was coaching football. Mm-hmm. It feels like high speed 2-minute drill over and over and over and over and over again. And that's really what it feels like.
That's cool. I should try that.
It's really cool.
Cool.
It feels like two offenses on the field at the same time racing to score touchdowns over and over and over and over again. And whoever scores the most touchdowns out of 11 attempts wins the game.
Cool. How did the Hammer do this weekend?
We did well. We definitely have some work to do, for sure. But I think a lot of that comes with time and practice, and now being familiar with the speed of the actual race.
That was like your first actual structured event. So there's got to be a pretty steep learning curve.
Oh, there was. Right? There certainly was. We sort of got kicked around a little bit early when we started, for a number of different reasons. But we had a slow start, and then one of our athletes goes by the name Axel Ost. He's a special person, but he had his opportunity, and he took full advantage of it to sort of make a stand for the team. And he stepped up, and he just came out of the gate and unleashed energy. And I've never seen someone do something like something I saw him do. And
that guy's an animal.
It was special. It was literally, he did 30 unbroken deadlifts at 275 pounds in like 36 seconds. It was just.
Did you get it on tape?
No.
Ah.
It was bizarre. It was out of this. It was like literally an event was happening that was, you were seeing it and it was like, this is not real, but it just kept going.
That's funny.
And it was just this moment where like everyone on our team just started screaming like, keep going. And that like unleashed the nerves, right?
Right.
We had dropped a number of races straight to Bridgewater, who ended up being the best team there that weekend. And that race where Axel sort of came out of the gate, we ended up winning that race, and it sort of set us on a path for the rest of the day to be significantly more competitive.
Well, that's cool.
These are not excuses. These are just things that were part of what was happening.
Sure.
It was our first time ever being all of us together in one place at once.
Gotcha.
And we've had practices.
What's the thing about team sports, though, where like, all you need is like one guy to make an interception like pick up a fumble, and you turn the momentum of a game, and then
turned everything, man.
Right.
And then So Saturday in Racing Bridgewater, we ended the day having won 3 races and lost 8. Would have been a 4th if it weren't for a bad decision I made on the fly. I made a mental mistake, and it cost our team a race, which I'll own. And then Sunday, we raced the New Haven Miners, and we won 9 races and lost 2.
Huh.
And we came out and, like, we swept the first... We swept the first 5 races.
Yeah.
We went 5-1 in the first set of 6 races, and we just can't, we regrouped. We went to dinner on Saturday after the races, and, everybody was, there's some questions about whether or not we belonged with the athletes we were racing against. I personally didn't feel like we didn't belong. I felt like there were a lot of mental mistakes. We had some miscues. I made some mistakes. And like you said, there's a learning curve. I mean,
sure.
we were definitely a little bit of deer in headlights in the first set of races, but you could see after we won that first race, we ended up winning a few more, and you could see our team was communicating and fighting, and no matter how much you practice, until you race another team, you can't imagine the speed at which this stuff goes down.
Really?
It's so fast.
Cool.
It's so super fast.
I'm going to have to check out that. When's the next event? Do you have it scheduled? Or?
No, we don't have our. So the next event is actually going to be, at some point we're going to have a combine. We're going to open a combine up.
Okay.
I know that right now the league has 7 teams. And of those teams, 6 raced this weekend. We're going to have a full race season. Either later in this year, so in December, January, maybe early February, and it's not gonna be anything that interferes with the CrossFit Open, because a lot of these athletes are CrossFit athletes, and the Open and regionals are major goals of theirs. But we're gonna have a season that is gonna be before the Open to make sure everybody can participate, and it's gonna be really good to help people get ready for that competitive season, which I actually like. And
how long had you guys been preparing before this event this past weekend?
About a month.
Okay.
More like 3 weeks, to be honest.
When did you even decide that you were going to get a Hartford Hammer team? Like, when did that even come into play?
The funny thing was I told in confidence one of the athletes who trains at the gym, and he also used to coach. Hey, I'm going to be sort of stepping down from my position at Trinity College as the coach, and I'm going to be at the gym full time, and I'm going to dedicate a lot more time to you guys and everything that you're willing to do in terms of your training to try to really help you guys achieve your goals. And he said, "Hey man, what about this?" And he showed me a website page with the NEGL thing. And the cutoff date had already come and gone. It was by the end of May you have to be signed up, blah, blah, blah. And this was, at this point, it was the middle of June. And I just sent an email and I said, hey, I know I missed the cutoff date, but I got the money and I think I got the people. I want to do it. And then early July, it sort of came down the pipeline that they were down and I was down. And so I had about a month to put together a roster and get some athletes to fill some roles, and then start practicing. And it was good, and it was a little unorganized in the beginning. We didn't really know how things were going to shake out, but we started to see what was what and who was really invested and who really wanted to be part of it. And people really dedicated a lot of time and energy to making this thing go right, and that showed. We only practiced together in partial groups for a couple weeks. The people who showed up and practiced and worked hard with the coaches to communicate were on point.
Cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
Because we're at 20 minutes already.
20 minutes.
All right, man.
I like this little moment before anything's happening.
Yeah. The transition.
I feel like I can do whatever I want.
Do it.
It's kind of over now because stuff is happening now.
So we were talking about the grid team, and you're working on the team, building the team. Is your roster set Are you looking for new athletes?
No, yes, in that order.
Okay.
So is the roster set? No. Technically, we had to finalize rosters for this past weekend for the inaugural invitational event, so that people had some integrity and made sure that no one was switching their athletes from day to day.
Sure.
You show up with the 14 people and you finish with the same 14 people, no matter what happens.
Right.
So, like, for
Makes
example,
sense.
in a grid race, if you have 5 men and 5 women, right, racing, you have 2 alternates. Let's say 3 people get hurt on your team in one race, right? Which doesn't happen. You finish the day with 4 people.
Okay.
That's it. You
Gotcha.
got to make it work.
Yep.
And that's why you have to make sure you have talented men and women.
That can handle.
And people can handle a lot.
It's a beatdown, right?
Yeah, it's vicious. It's fast. It's heavy. It's vicious. It's so fun, man. I can't even tell you. Like, the excitement from the crowd, the energy of the athletes, the real coaching that goes down is something that I personally have craved since I stopped coaching organized team sports like lacrosse and football.
Gotcha. Now, what's the payoff in the end? Is there like a championship? Is there money to win?
So this year there was money to win. There was a $10,000 first place prize, a $5,000 second place prize, with a possibility of going to California to represent the NEGL in the National Pro Grid League Semi-Pro Invitational.
Okay.
Where teams from all over the country
Sure.
are building a base to get, to go out there and go. I do believe we are going to send an all-star team of the combined.
Okay, cool.
Which is really the smart thing to do.
Did they already do that, determine that?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I know who my picks would be. Let me be the coach. But no, I don't know exactly how that's going to shake out yet, and I'm really not worried about it, to be honest. I went into that weekend with high expectations, and there were some ups and some downs, but every expectation I had was met and then some and exceeded.
Awesome.
It really was.
So if somebody, finds this interesting and wants to check grid out, should they contact you?
Yeah,
or?
they absolutely should contact me, because the way it's going to work is there's going to be a combine where people can go and do tryouts, but I also have the ability to have people come and do practices with our team. My roster is going to grow.
Okay.
I don't plan on just having 14 and 14, because this is a semi-pro thing, and it is a major investment of time and energy from people. And depending on when matches are and what matches are happening, just limiting yourself to 7 people, male and female, is not necessarily optimal.
Gotcha.
You sort of want to carry a roster that's a little deeper than that, and
Sure.
based on the skill sets required for individual races, you may want to activate a player or not.
Gotcha. Okay.
And this is a legit competitive league, right? I'm going to put the best 7 athletes, male and female, 14 total, who work well together, are coachable, and follow instructions, and have the highest level of ability possible on the floor for every match.
Sure.
So there's not a lot of love lost here, but for anybody who's actually ever been involved in a legitimately competitive version of a team sport, either on the collegiate, semi-pro, or pro level, or even high-level high school athletics, nobody makes the team because the coach likes you, unless you're at a place where they don't make cuts.
Right.
And in college, I learned a lot in the past couple of years coaching college athletes. There's been some amazing kids who work hard, and at some point, like, if you're just not as talented as someone, you will lose your spot. I saw kids going into their senior year who had been starters or key players for 2 or 3 years lose their spots to very talented young athletes and freshmen who could just make it happen in a way that they couldn't.
Right.
And those were the teams that won championships.
Yep.
And understanding that and being exposed to that, that's gonna be how I play it.
Yeah.
As long as people can make the what would be considered minor commitments and or major commitments, if it's a major commitment to them, to be part of it, and train their ass off and race their ass off and be part of an amazing group of people who want to go hard and win, then they should contact me.
Okay.
Because my goal is to win the league. I'm not involved in this for any other reason other than to go win. And I'm not in the business of losing. I've never been part of anything as a coach where losing went down. And I certainly don't intend for that to be the case. So,
awesome.
If you want to win and you think you're good, email me at xfit_Doyle@yahoo.com or Hartford Hammer at yahoo.com.
Cool.
We have a website. Go to
website. You got Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah, I got Twitter.
It's legit.
It's legit. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Hartford Hammer. Like the page. Send us a message. Reach out to us. We will put the best athletes on the floor, on the grid, to race for us.
Do you guys do like the grid score? I was doing some research before.
Grid scores are good. It's definitely a good indicator.
Should you have somebody do that, maybe?
It certainly would make it a lot easier for me to determine whether or not they should show up.
Okay.
If they did a grid score and contacted me and told me what their grid score was, it definitely is an indicator.
Come on in, or no. Don't waste your gas.
I right now what I'm doing is because the pool of competitive fitness people comes from CrossFit, what I tend to reference the open scores quite a bit.
Okay.
And if applicable, their regionals or game score. So, don't get it twisted. There were a plethora of regionals, teams athletes, regional athletes, games athletes on these teams. People who compete in weightlifting on a national level, people who compete. There was teams completely made up of sponsored full-time athletes.
Wow.
So if
you're not playing around,
no, this is not a fucking game.
Yeah.
This is a race to win, and it's serious. And if people don't know who you are, and you think you're good, and you want people to know who you are, let me tell you where the place is. It's in the NEGL.
Cool.
If you think you have what it takes to compete with regionals athletes and games athletes, well, let me tell you a way that you can line up across from them and race them week after week for 6 to 8 weeks going into the Open. And you'll know right away whether or not you're on the bubble.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious to everyone in the room. And
cool.
That's the thing that I like about it is I have some in-house athletes at my gym who I have believed for some time are on that level, and just I needed to help provide them with an opportunity, a venue for them to see that they're there.
Sure.
And this weekend, if not anything, that definitely happened. They realized that they belong at the table in the race with anybody.
Awesome.
So
congratulations, man. That's really cool.
That was fun.
I'm excited to see where this thing goes, man. I hope it blows up.
It's going to go to the championship. That's where it's going to go.
I hope the whole sport blows up, man.
Me too.
I hope it's huge. I hope it's exciting that there's we're kind of at the beginning of something that could be, ultimately a really cool, big new sport that kind of really takes off.
And it's the thing that I really like about it is for the competitive athlete, it creates a standardized competitive experience.
Sure.
Right? It's not, well, do you want to do this thing or that thing or this thing and that thing? Listen, those things are great. Those are wonderful because you know what? I'm involved in that.
Yep.
Right? But there's a standardization of competition for high-level athletes that just doesn't exist. And what the NEGL is providing that venue. And
you're meaning like throwdowns, like every throwdown you go to
right.
is a bit different and weird and odd. And,
right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's certain ones that compare to large-scale competitions like Wadapalooza, the OC Throwdown, things like that, the East Coast Championships. Those things have a level of standardization amongst their internal staff that makes it legitimate.
Okay.
But the NEGL is week in and week out. You're going to be toe-to-toe with these people. And
are the races always the same? Are they always different?
So the formats are similar, but there are a number of different race formats that can be exchanged. So there's different ways. There's McKinley, there's Teton, there's Kilimanjaro, and each one of those are 11 races based on a structured format with different elements.
Okay.
Right? So you'll have the partner fort, which will be a combination of men and women doing alternating exercises in ascending or descending reps and weights, working together down the grid. right? And that's short and fast. And then there's the mirror. So you have a team of women and a team of men performing one movement throughout the grid. So like 60 hang snatches, 15 in each quadrant. And you have to, like, the bar can't touch the ground from when you start, and it's heavy and it's fast. And you have to try to beat the other team down.
Gotcha.
You know, and you got 6 people out on the grid at once, and you're going and you're subbing people in and out, and you're trying to make it so that bar never stops moving. Then you have the women's echo, where will be a synchronized women's chipper, where you have 2 women on the grid doing one exercise at a time as they work their way down, and then they have to repeat it again, hence the echo.
Okay.
And then the men's echo. For example, the echo on Saturday was 40 deadlifts at 275 for the men, plus 40 chest to bar pull-ups, plus 4 rope climbs, plus 40 thrusters at 165. Right, and you have to utilize 5 different people to do all that work as fast as you can while the other team's doing the same thing. First one to finish wins. You get a 30-second race. You do it again. You get scores for both.
Cool.
But yeah, if you want to be down, you want to move fast, lift heavy, and do some awesome stuff with some really amazing, great people and athletes, this is it. And
cool.
We want people. We're bringing what I believe is legitimate professional strength and conditioning to what is a legitimate competitive fitness sport.
Awesome. Now, going from, we're going to switch up topics here, but going off of what you mentioned before, some of these other competitions that you said were a bit more legitimate, we've got some sort of breaking news. Do you want to reveal some of that here?
I'd love to.
Does anyone know about this yet?
Yes. More people than
so it's not a podcast exclusive.
No, it's sort of a podcast exclusive. There's like an inner circle of people who have been informed directly, but there are.
What do you got in works, man?
So, in mentioning some of like the bigger events in regions of the country, right? There's the OC Throwdown, which is a multi-day, high-level competitive event that draws some of the best in the country. There's Wadapalooza down in the southeast, which is a multi-day event, which draws some of the most competitive athletes in the country. And for a number of different years, the Beast of the East has been really sort of the marquee high-level competition in the Northeast, and that was run by Merle McKenzie from CrossFit Relentless in West Hartford, Connecticut. Merle is my neighbor of about a mile and a half away, something like that, from CrossFit Hartford, and in some friendly gestures and conversations, he and I had spoken about some different things, and he offered me a fantastic, amazing opportunity to sort of take over and run the Beast of the East going forward, just due to different constraints on his part with his business being as successful as it is, and him wanting to make sure that athletes and people sort of got the experience that they should at an event like the Beast of the East. And so starting this year on October 9th, 10th, and 11th, which is Columbus Day weekend, the CrossFit Hartford staff, including myself, will be managing, running, and programming, and doing everything and anything associated with the Beast of the East from now on.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's badass.
No, it's pretty exciting. It really is a tremendous opportunity, and I'm super grateful for Merle to have him reach out to me and offer me the opportunity to do that. I just think is a super kind, generous thing, and I'm more than happy and excited to be part of it. Awesome. And so is my staff. So.
Cool. Yeah. I think I competed in the first one back in, I think it was like 2010 or 11, I think.
How'd you do?
I was like middle of the pack.
He took
somewhere.
7th. He took 7th.
No, I didn't. It was like, I was like 40.
He took 7th in WOD 2.
That's right.
No. But no, I mean it's literally been the who's going to be the next big name in the Northeast.
Yeah, Fraser won it a couple years ago.
Fraser won it. The woman who trains up there too with him, Michelle Latender. No.
That's
Daniel Horan.
Danny Horan.
Danny Horan's done it.
Anna Tunnicliffe won it last year. My buddy coaches her, Brad Tobias.
Nice.
Down in Mount Lebanon.
And it's Christian Harris, who's a pro gritter now and multi-time regionals athlete, has done it. And we've seen like regional team after regional team, they sort of pass through the Beast of the East on their way to regionals. And, that's our goal. Our goal is to make sure that teams who think that they are on the bubble and want to throw down with the best in the Northeast have the opportunity to do it.
And it's your goal to bring the Beast of the East to the level of some of those bigger ones like Granite Games.
Yes.
Right? That's
it should be available to athletes in the Northeast. There should be a multi-day event where athletes in the Northeast have the opportunity without having to spend, thousands of dollars to travel and have boarding to participate against the other best athletes in the Northeast.
Did you mention that the Northeast was the densest?
Largest. It is the largest region in the CrossFit Open.
Okay.
So in terms
meaning
there's more people
more
competing in the Northeast region than any other region in the CrossFit Open, which means inevitably, statistically, it's the most competitive. Your chances of being a top level, top tier, especially now that they have reorganized the regionals, this is it. This is if you want to be good, you got to come to the Northeast and beat the Northeast, because that's where a lot of the high level games athletes come from. You look at the Northeast and you see CrossFit New England has sometimes multiple teams in the game, multiple athletes in the game.
Yep.
You see guys like Fraser and teams like Champlain Valley just putting out athlete after athlete after athlete. And CrossFit Milford took second in the games. Fraternity is from New York, and they're a games team. And all these athletes should have the opportunity without going through these tons of travel and expenses to compete on a very high level. We have run a number of different competitions for the past 2 years, one being Black Ice, which is our competition in January during the winter.
Yep, in the Meltdown, which just happened last week.
Yeah, in the Summer Meltdown.
That was a good one.
Yeah, is our third one. And, we've learned a lot. We've run about 7 competitions over the past 3 years. And the last 5 competitions we've run have had between 150 and 220 people competing. And those are one-day events where we get 220 people through anywhere from 3 to 4 workouts. And I actually believe this year's Summer Meltdown had 5 scores. And we do it efficiently. We do it. We try to get as much information to people out where we can. We release the WODs early and often so that people know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And we're going to try to make sure that the programming that people experience is one that's sensible, competitive, and safe. But at the end of the day, is going to determine who the best of the best is based on functional fitness standards.
Awesome. We're going to have to break again. We'll get right back to it, talking about the Beast.
The Beast is back.
Nothing's happening, and I can do whatever I want. And Steve isn't here, and then he talks, and all my fun goes away.
So we were talking about the Beast of the East.
The Beast is back.
The Beast, baby.
The Beast
is back. And now that it belongs to you. And
yeah,
man,
we're getting it in.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be baller.
Cool.
It's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be. We're gonna try to make it the best event that we can muster. We're gonna put everything we've got into it, and we're gonna put all of our energy and creative ideas and try to make the programming fun and interesting and challenging. I got a lot of great ideas that I want to try out. And
where are you guys doing it? Do you know? Do you have a venue yet?
Yep. Sports World.
Okay.
And
the Dome.
The Dome.
Nice.
Big Dome. It's a big venue. It's beautiful. We've used it for events in the past, and it was absolutely phenomenal.
Cool.
I couldn't say it.
Awesome.
I kept saying absolutely.
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 They did it where? Like the XL? Did they do the
XL Center last year.
Too big?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
I haven't gone in years. So
hopefully with some of the ideas and sort of creative energy I'm going to be putting behind this, I I hope that the XL Center becomes like a mandatory style venue for where I see this going. But all in all, the only reason that this is such an exciting opportunity is because Merle and his staff have done such an amazing job in the past, giving athletes in the Northeast the opportunity to compete on a high-level stage. And if I can, I only hope to add to that opportunity for people.
Cool.
That's really my goal, is to just build on the amazing hard work and reputation that has preceded sort of my arrival in terms of involvement in the event.
Yeah, I mean, you're like getting Launchpad to the next level. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna try.
Cool.
I'm gonna try to do that.
I'm pumped. I'm excited to see where you guys take it.
It's gonna be super fast, and we already got some really cool stuff in store for people in terms of some of the events and the way we're gonna handle things, and some of the team style stuff is gonna be super fun. And we really hope. I've been speaking with the commissioner of the NEGL, and I'm really hoping that they decide to sort of get involved with us on this.
Oh, cool.
And maybe throw their hand into the mix in terms of contributing to the programming and experience of the athletes, to really sort of make it an awesome race to find out who's the best.
Oh, cool.
So,
cause I can see how you could kind of like work both the NEGL and the Beast together, kind of not only make it a good event, but also maybe get some athletes to the NEGL, and vice versa.
We'll see.
Cool.
I mean, that's right. You're gonna know whether or not you belong in the NEGL based on how you do in the Beast. If you're not competitive in the Beast, I mean, there's some awakening that you're gonna need to, and you're gonna have to have a rude awakening. If you can be competitive at the Beast and you belong on the floor with those athletes, then you have a shot at the NEGL. I mean, and people don't understand how legit the competition was that went down. It
at the Beast or the
NEGL.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it was who's who.
Gotcha.
If you're familiar with the competitive fitness athletes in the Northeast and you were at the NEGL throwdown, man, you knew right away it was a serious endeavor.
Gotcha.
And
cool.
Teams are only going to get better.
I'm sure.
The league's going to grow. Teams are going to get better. I keep wanting to talk about the grid because it was so fun. It was last weekend, so I'm like,
right.
I just want to go. I just want my team in the gym, and I just want to bang weights and test races and go. But
awesome. But I can see how you can incorporate some of that into the Beast, though. Like,
I think
some of that race mentality into like individual WODs, and even the team WODs and stuff.
We're definitely going to do some speed stuff where people are going to have to go fast and work as a team, and as individuals. I can tell you right now, there's going to be a heavy ladder of sorts.
Nice.
There's going to be something where you're going to have to race someone next to you in order to win, and it's going to be great. We have some really great, and there's going to be some very traditional competitive fitness style stuff where modalities are going to be challenged through broad and general domains.
Cool.
CrossFit. There will, but our goal is to give people the most incorporated competitive event experience that we can, and have top of the line, high end vendors providing the best products at great prices, as well as a wonderful venue where people really feel like they are at a special event.
Sure.
There needs to be something where New England, where we can hang our hats on it as a community and say, this is it. This is us. This is us. This is our premier event, and it's for everyone, right? If I've referenced a number of like large name competitive events before, but you know what? They have multiple tiers of competition.
Right, scaled,
they're
RX,
scaled and
pro.
RX, and I know that last year was the first year that they offered a scale division at the Beast, and people started to pick up on that was available to them because
now like the RX and the pro divisions are so like untouchable to the normal CrossFitter these days.
You have to train for a while. If you're going from no athletic background into CrossFit, unless you are just a genetic mutation of a human being, walking into the gym and doing RX workouts, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
You need to have a good coach with smart programming, and you need to develop yourself over a couple years. But at this point, the Beast has had an amazing group of people competing in it year after year. And I've been to the last 3, and every year I'm like, man, this is just awesome. I just would love to be a part of this, or coach athletes in it, which I've been able to do. Or like I wish I could, be part of running something like this.
Sure.
And now that the opportunity's here,
you got to take it, right?
So many ideas.
Cool.
And now that my staff and I are full time in the world of functional fitness and competitive exercise, like I am just chomping at the bit to make this super special and amazing for anyone who decides to participate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait to check it out. When is it again?
It's October 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Okay, yeah, Columbus Day weekend.
Columbus Day
Awesome.
weekend.
That's
And,
perfect.
the cool thing, so Merle is, I'm going to do a little shameless plug for Merle here, just because
Sure.
he's given me the opportunity. One of the huge benefits for people who are signing up this year, and for those who volunteer to judge for the weekend, is he's actually providing everyone who signs up to compete and the people who volunteer to judge for the entire weekend a free pair of Relentless jeans. And if you don't know what Relentless jeans are, Merle, you owe me one here. They are like one of 2 brands of denim offered to people who like fucking squat all the time. And if you don't squat all the time, then you wouldn't understand the problem that
small waist,
those of
thick
us,
ass,
yeah,
thick thighs.
Those of us who tear pants every time we fucking bend down at work, but are not obese, have. And
Yep.
It's something. I tell it. I have a pair, and I refer to them frequently as yoga pants for silverbacks. I mean,
my wife Katie has a pair.
Does she love them?
They're fucking sexy.
They're awesome.
They're awesome. I dig them.
I was super skeptical. I was like, how you get a pair of jeans? Like, come on, it's a pair of jeans. But it's like, you put them on, and it's like, there's this magic that occurs where, like, you don't feel screwed up walking around or sitting in a chair or bending down to pick something up. They are as comfortable as anything, Like, you literally, you can snatch in them. I mean, you wouldn't want to. You'd be a little hot.
Right.
But there's nothing between you and that snatch involving your attire. And I know that if I wore a regular pair of jeans and I snatched,
It'd explode.
that would be the end of those jeans. That would be the end of the jeans, or whatever part of my body broke instead of the denim.
Right.
So it's
It's a pretty good deal, man.
yeah,
That's pretty generous.
It's not a small expenditure to purchase a pair of those jeans, because they are such a high quality and so nice. And for every person who signs up to compete to get that is, I think that's a huge, awesome gesture by Merle to offer
Mighty
that to
generous.
people. You're very generous, Merle.
Good job, Merle.
Thanks, Merle. The Beast is back.
Cool.
We're going in.
Awesome. I'm excited. So what else you got going on, man? What about your home office? The box, CrossFit Hartford.
CrossFit
What's new there, man? You got all this other shit going on outside.
Well, the cool thing about the Hammer's been going down at the box.
Oh, cool.
Our team practices have been going down at CrossFit Hartford, and it's been super awesome to have all the athletes from the team in there, people traveling up to participate and see our gym, and it's just super awesome. We've got a great competition program at our gym that's growing, and all the athletes are wanting to take the next step to dedicate more time and energy to their training. And there's nothing more inspiring to me as a coach than athletes that want to be part of what you're doing. And to watch all these athletes who have been CrossFitting for a year, 2 years, 3 years, some even longer, say, this group of people you have training here and what they're doing looks super fun, and I want to be part of it. I want to invest more of my lifestyle into my training and my fitness and my nutrition and my health. To sort of be on the receiving end of that, it's like there's nothing more to fuel me as a coach than someone who genuinely wants to get better.
And on the last episode, you were still at Trinity, and that's gone now, right?
Gone.
You're all in.
Oh, this is it.
Kevin, all the time.
We're going from 780 athletes on the collegiate level trying to win national championships to the people who come to my gym and want to be the best that they can be. And it's the amount of time and the energy that you get to put into people on a quality level is just so much higher, and it's so inspiring. And man,
you love it. Is it better now that you can focus on the gym? And
I would never say that my experience at Trinity was something that I won't cherish. You know,
right.
I spent 3 years there and had such an amazing time. I met thousands of kids, worked with, there's 22 head coaches there for 29 sports, and every coach has between 1 and 10 assistants, and there's just so many great people over there trying to do the best that they can with their programs and trying to help people achieve their goals. And to be part of championship cultures and learn what I've learned from those who just time after time, year after year, win everything, national championships. Sure. You just learn so much that you can't even put into words what you've learned, but you're just around people who are doing the right things all the time, and their methodologies start to rub off on you, and,
sure.
and you learn a lot. And when I started there, I thought I knew a lot of stuff and I was ready to do that job, and the truth was I needed a lot of help. And I realized very, very quickly that I needed to find some really good people and get them involved so that I could help these kids be successful too. And I'm very, very lucky to be able to take all the people who are with me there back to my gym with me. And
Definitely.
that's a huge shout out to Coach John Durrett, Coach Stephanie Berry, and Coach Nathan Pagan, who have just been the most amazing people to work with, and so generous with their time and effort, and their loyalty has just been something that I never imagined I'd be in a position where I am with the people I'm with. It's just
you got a great staff over there.
Man, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but man, I love them, and my business partner, Coach Balkan, and to be able to have all those people there. And working with Coach Talbot and Coach Norland, we really have a stable of the most elite high-level coaches in the strength and conditioning profession. I mean, Coach Berry and Coach Pagan graduated exercise science programs summa cum laude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the moment they left college, they were the best of the people in their field, and to have them there and passionate about competitive fitness and functional fitness, and have them there day in and day out supporting our box and our gym and our members and doing everything they can to help everyone achieve their goals, it's just the most inspiring thing I've ever been a part of. I am more motivated now at 34, turning 35 years old, than I've ever been, and the only thing that's ever made me feel like this was like when I met my wife and when my son was born. It's just a next level of personal identification and understanding that you can't understand until you sort of go through it. It's very cathartic, and it transcends into all the areas of your life. And a lot of people think you're crazy and obsessed, and good. I am.
But you kind of have to be, man. If you want to kick ass. And live your life the way you want to, you've got to be a little bit tweaked.
You got to take the plunge. Right?
Yeah, man. So
you got to take the plunge.
That's awesome, dude. I'm very very happy for you. Congratulations on all the success you've been having lately. It's really cool to see, and I'm glad that being a member of CrossFit Hartford to see that and be a part of that in some way.
I would argue to the death that all of the success that I have is really. It is just an expression and sort of the accumulation of all the hard work that everybody in our community puts in. Whether it's people coming in every day and training and doing the WODs with everything they've got, and bringing their friends down to say, hey, come meet all these awesome people. Or like the coaches just coming in, waking up at 4 a.m., opening the gym at 5.
Members volunteering at the meltdown.
I mean, it's like it's an all-in deal.
Yep.
It's an all-in community, and that's really what, for me, made the decision to leave Trinity and come back to the gym full-time was about.
Yeah.
It's like I have all these people who are all in every day.
Yep.
And I didn't feel like I owed people anything, but the truth was, people come to CrossFit Hartford looking for something, and I started CrossFit Hartford looking for something too, and I think we're all looking for the same thing, and I wouldn't quite know how to articulate it, but when we're all there together, I mean, it just feels amazing. It just literally feels like you're home for Christmas, like every day. It's the most amazing thing in the world, and I wanted to be part of that again.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
I craved being with our members again. I craved being able to coach athletes who were mine again.
Sure.
And you know, in the few months since I've left Trinity, the amount that I've gotten back from just that decision has made it so clear to me that was the right decision for me and my staff, and they all feel the same way, and they're all super happy and thrilled. And you know, it's just and even more so, the CrossFit community in Connecticut has just been awesome to me. You know, I made like this Facebook post thing the other day, but man, oh man, can I tell you, like, when I started this Hartford Hammer thing, I was like, man, you know, we're gonna have a hard go of it. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, I contacted a few athletes, and they were all about it, and they were all in right away. And you know, I got to give big props to, you know, Bammer over at CrossFit Yankee for him giving me access to some of his best athletes, and Dave down at CrossFit Shoreline, who's done an amazing job year after year producing some of the best athletes in the state and in the region.
Sure.
And just, you know, giving their blessings for that. And man, like, apparently I had a reputation I didn't even know existed.
It's awesome though. It's awesome
man,
that,
like, and it just is, for people to be that open and that giving with their resources, like, holy hell. I mean,
right.
I don't even know how to say thank you for that.
Right.
Because I can be like a giant jerk sometimes, where I'm like, no, it's mine. Don't touch my stuff. And I honestly think that's just because, you know, when you're dealing with the competitive collegiate athletics situation and competitive high school athletics, it's a very different deal. I know, I gotta pause again.
Yeah. All right.
It makes us sad.
All right. We'll pause one more time.
We'll pause.
We'll
and
wrap
we'll
it up.
Wrap it. Yeah.
All right.
Wrap it. Every time people look, there's like a different beer here, and it's like I'm going through the stages of personal identification.
I have no idea what that means.
That means I'm drinking.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man. Seems like you're kicking ass on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
On all levels.
Oh, like I said before, man, it's not me. I'm just lucky to be around awesome people who have the energy, the drive, the dedication to better themselves. And I don't even know. Sometimes I sort of feel like, you know, the Joker in Batman, where he's like, do I look like a guy with a plan? I mean, it's like...
It's kind of funny how that works out, man.
I just do things.
You have an idea, and you run with it, and next thing you know, shit just starts
It just
happening.
happened. Yeah. You know, you just got to start talking about it. And
you got to be passionate enough about the idea and the success of the idea.
You know, when
just
I
fucking run with it.
When I started coaching high school sports, I started at Northwest Catholic. And they had losing season after losing season for a little more than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck that. Let's win a goddamn state championship. I don't know. GD might be a bad thing to say. Maybe. Sorry for the religious folks. But
I didn't even think of that till now.
You see my pagan tattoos. But just kidding. So, but it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm somebody who, like, if I think I want to do something, like if my goal is to win a championship, I'm going to tell you right away. I don't have like a ulterior motive or some sort of secret agenda that I'm holding in my back pocket until the moment is right. It's like, no. It's like I bought into the NEGL to win the fucking league. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to put together the best team to compete against the best teams.
I'm not competing to not come in last.
Yeah, it's not a race for last. If you don't know who Joe Ken is, look up Joe Ken and realize and some of the things he says. And Joe Ken says all the time. He's a famous strength and conditioning coach, by the way. You don't want to take the time to figure it out. But he says it is not a race for last.
Yep.
Right? If you are coming in last in anything, you need to make adjustments to your personal choices, the environment in which you're competing in, and you need to affect change in a positive way, like whether it's mental, physical, emotional. I don't care what it is, but it's not a race for last.
Yep.
You're trying to win. That's how you move forward in the world. That's how you move forward in life. And I ain't trying to come in last in nothing.
Well, it doesn't seem like you are, man.
No.
Seems like you're doing good. You got the gym. You got the hammer.
We do.
You got the beast now, baby.
The beast.
So if you wanna,
We got the beast.
people want to hit you up. They wanna check out the gym. They want to check out the Hartford Hammer.
So they can go to our website. They can go to hartfordhammer.com to see our NEGL team and our NEGL website. There's lots of pics of our athletes there. Our phone number is there. The email to contact me about the hammer is there. There's a contact form that you can fill out, put your name if you're interested in being part of it. For those of you who are good and you don't contact me, be sure that I may be contacting you. But if you want to race and be part of it, don't hesitate to reach out on your own. If you're interested in our gym, you can feel free, go over to CrossFitHartford.com. There's an About Us section. There's a contact page. Anybody can come in and do their first workout for free. If you've never done CrossFit before, you can come into our gym and do your first workout for free and see what it's all about, meet our coaches, do some of our workouts and start to find out what the process is to join the community. If you're a competitive athlete and you're looking for coaching, I can tell you straight out, I'm trying to put together a team to go to the CrossFit Games. I'm not trying to hold...
I want it all. I want it now.
I do. I want to go to the CrossFit Games. I want to win. Whether it's with a regionals athlete or a games team, or individual athlete or a team, or both.
Sure.
Ben Bergeron can do it. It means it's not impossible. Dusty Highland has done it. It's not impossible. People can do these things, and for me personally, life goals is to do that. And,
cool.
I try to build what I believe is the most intelligent yet challenging, competitive functional fitness programming for my athletes in-house. I also do some custom program design, and I have some online clients, people who I consult with, and we Skype, and I write them customized workouts for weightlifting and functional fitness. And if that's something you're interested in, you can get a hold of me through the website there too. So
cool. And what about the Beast? When is that going to get released for registration? And
registration's open.
Already, huh?
Yeah. If you go to the beastoftheeast.com, you can go to that website, beastoftheeast.com, and you can follow the links to registration. There's team registration, there's judge and volunteer registration, and individual registration. And there's individual and RX categories this year. And the competition itself is on the 10th and 11th. We're going to do athlete briefing Friday night at CrossFit Relentless in West Hartford before the Beast this year. And we'll be at Sports World, which all that stuff's on the website. You go there, check it out. Go to the Beast of the East competition page on Facebook, like it, and you'll get all the information there. We're going to be sending out some emails to people who have competed for us before and things like that to make sure that they know that if they're interested in it, if they're familiar with our events. We have a lot of repeat competitors for our previous competitions, so we're going to reach out to them and encourage them to participate, because this should be a communal event. This event should be about the community and everybody who does CrossFit, not... Yes, we want to have the best athletes, to have the best experience and the best competitive venue for themselves in the Northeast for CrossFit. But we also want it to be something that's everybody can participate in.
Sure.
It's not an exclusive experience for those who can, clean and jerk 300 pounds.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if, you might have to be able to do that, but maybe not. But it wouldn't hurt if you could, if you're competing. But that being said, it's we're really just trying to have everyone experience like the fucking Brad awesomeness that exists in our box and the people that we get to be around every day. And hopefully the Hartford Hammer will give our athletes the opportunity and experience to become the regionals and games athletes that we believe they can be. and be, you know, a nasty ass grid team simultaneously. And you know, the Beast of the East is the place where you prove it. You know, you're either proving it on the grid or you're proving it at the Beast. If to give yourself options outside of the Open, you know. But
awesome. Do it.
that's it. We're trying.
All right, man.
Let's do
Well,
it.
Hartford Hammer, CrossFit Hartford,
Beast of the East.
Beast of the East, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
Awesome, man.
There's so much fitness.
So much.
So much fitness.
So much fitness happening.
Fitness.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching Crazy Creative. Steve Raboin. By the way, if you were a crazy creative, when I say that, I mean if you're an awesome person and you're doing awesome things and you want to come on the show and tell me about it, you want to reach some new people, I would love to hear from you. Let me tell your story, help you tell your story. And that's it. Hit me up. Crazy Creative Podcast.
Crazy Creative.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
I love this.
Part 2.
Part 2.
All right, man.
All
We got to
right,
do some more shit. Part 3 is going to be ridiculous.
I think that we should just do we should wear GoPros and drink tequila.
Okay.
That would be creative
Let's do it.
and crazy.
All right, buddy.
And go to a water park.
Add a tash.
Let's do it.
Drunk and ziplining.
Whatever.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
All right.